16 days and nearly 3,500 kilometers across the roof of the world, from the high-speed stillness of Qinghai Tibet Railway to the ancient alleyways of Lhasa, from sacred monastery to sky burial grounds, from glacier lakes to the timeless shadow of Mount Kailash. This was not a trip. It's a slow unfolding. Every mile, every step, every silence held something to remember and something to let go. This is the story of my journey through Tibet for the second time. A journey into altitude, culture, spirit, and self. Singapore, 11:30 p.m. The gateway to another journey. This is it, the start of a 16-day solo pilgrimage to Tibet, back to the land that left a deep mark on me in May 2023. From the vibrant terminus of Xining to the sacred stillness of Kailash, each step ahead is a path inward too. I'll be recording this journey, not just the scenery, but also my reflections.
MF5 to
6:30 a.m. Kunming Changshui International Airport. The first leg of journey is complete. I will lay here for next 5 hours before catching a domestic flight to Xining Chaojiabao Airport. At 1:45 p.m. touchdown at Xining. The air feels thinner. Now to catch a taxi ride to the railway station, which is approximately 23 kilometers away. And that's where the real ascent begins. The train to Lhasa departs tonight at 9:50 p.m. Still a few hours to go. Plenty of time to soak in the city a little. Therefore, I stopped by a mall opposite the railway station to find a quiet spot for lunch before boarding the legendary journey across the Qinghai Tibet Plateau. It's 4:30 p.m. now, and Xining railway station stands right behind me. With 5 hours to spare, I'm just kind of taking it slow, sitting out here in the square, watching the city move and letting the journey settle in before tonight's departure. That's the one I'm taking. Ordered the train, settled into my soft sleeper cabin. 4 beds, cozy and quiet. Lie ahead, nearly 20 hours of winding across the vast plateau as the journey to Lhasa truly begins. The train has departed. I fall somewhere over the past 5 hours. Time to get some rest, and perhaps tomorrow I'll try to catch the sunrise. A new day, a new chapter on this journey to the sacred mountains. It's 6:30 a.m. The first light of day stretches across the horizon, soft, silent and full of promise. A new dawn as the journey across the plateau unfolds. Just past 10 a.m., we are now over 4,500 meters above sea level, somewhere deep on the Xining Tibetan Plateau. Light snow falls outside, and the temperature feels like minus 15 degrees.
列车，我们的列车呢，现在行驶到的这个区域就是著名的三家园流域。哇，当各位旅客朋友呢，这种非常重要的一个交界线，从这个地区呢，我们驶过刚才沱沱河经过以后呢，我们就即将正式驶出青海省，最终一次性完成的区域，这就是目前为止青藏铁路。
This is the Chona Hu, which is located off Ato's head, which means that it's not too far off Lhasa province. Finally, we reached Lhasa railway station. It's about 6:30 p.m. 6:30 p.m. we have reached Lhasa railway station. Arrived in Lhasa. After nearly 20 hours across the highlands, I finally reached the heart of Tibet. I have met by the driver and now heading to the hotel to rest and acclimatize. Check-in at Xining Hotel, right behind me here in Lhasa. A place to rest, recharge and start adapting to the altitude. Let's find some dinner first. This is actually the yak meat. Dipping in the sauce. After 2 days on the move, across airports, tracks and endless skies, I'm finally here in Lhasa, familiar yet different. When I first came to Tibet in May 2023, I never rode the Qinghai-Tibet Railway. I never walked the sacred path around Mount Kailash. This journey, more than half of it will be new ground, new memories. Tonight, I let the past 2 days settle. Tomorrow, I take my first true step forward. A new day begins here in Lhasa. Starting simple, a quiet breakfast, gathering strength for the journey ahead.
Is the original city, which was to the east is Chambo, and to the south is Viz.
First stop, Drupal Monastery.
Does anybody, all of you believe in religion? Who's the 7 people from 7 noble families? And they were given teachings.
once the largest monastery in Tibet, home to nearly 10,000 monks at its height. Built in 1416, Drupal Monastery was a center of learning, power and spiritual, the traditional seats of Dalai Lamas before the Potala Palace. Walking through its ancient halls, I can almost hear the echoes of centuries past. The quiet pursuit of wisdom, carved into every stone. Behind me is the residence of the former Dalai Lamas.
Wow, everybody's coming. Watch your head.
From where the residence of past Dalai Lama, he can overlook the Stone Mountain on the horizon. I'm now outside the Great Assembly Hall, and this is a beautiful scenery view looking across the mountains. And now Sera Monastery, founded in 1419, famous for its lively tradition of debate. Once again, I'm back to Sera Monastery that I have last visited in 2023. Sera Monastery Library. Watching them, I'm reminded that seeking answers isn't always a quiet path. Sometimes it's an act of courage to question, to challenge, and to grow. Starting the day in the heart of Lhasa, today's journey will take me through the spiritual pulse of Tibet, from the towering Potala Palace to the sacred halls of Johan Temple, and into the rhythm of life along parkour streets. A day to step deeper into the soul of this ancient city. Standing here in Potala Palace Square, face to face with one of Tibet's most iconic symbols. The Potala Palace, once the winter residence of the Dalai Lamas, rises like a fortress of faith, history, and resilience. It's more than a monument. It's a reminder of how deeply spirit can shape a land. Framed by water and widows, the Potala Palace rises quietly behind me, a symbol of faith and endurance. It watches over Lhasa like it has for centuries. In its stillness, I'm reminded, some places don't just exist in history, they live in presence too. Climbing over 300 stone steps to reach the top of the Potala Palace. Each step feels heavier in the thin Lhasa air, but also more purposeful. It's a slow ascent, not just through altitude, but through centuries of history etched into these walls. Behind me, inside these sacred halls, time feels suspended. 1,000-years-old murals, the scent of incense. It's not just a palace, it's a living archive of devotion, culture, and memories. Now at Johan Temple, the spiritual heart of Tibetan Buddhism. Built over 1,300 years ago, it's a place where devotion never sleeps. Around me, pilgrims prostrate, pray, and walk in quiet circles. Each step a thread in the living fabric of faith. First May, a long road ahead today, leaving Lhasa and heading west towards Shigatse. It's a full day's journey across high mountains, passes, and sacred lakes. From Yancho turquoise waters to the icy face of Kora glaciers, every turn reveals something wild, ancient, and breathtaking. Today, the route itself is the destination. I'm now at 4,150 meters. The temperature here is 0 degrees, but it felt like -7 degrees based on GPS signal data. Local stores line the roadside with snacks, souvenirs, and the chance to pose with majestic Tibetan monasteries. A light-hearted pause before nature stirs something deeper. Yangchuo Yongchuo, one of Tibet's holiest lakes, Its turquoise waters stretch endlessly beneath the skies, calm, sacred, and full of quiet power. Standing here, you feel as if the land itself is whispering a prayer. Behind me is a stupa that watches over the Kora Glacier, which I last visited in May 2023. Kora Glacier, rising suddenly like a frozen wave against the sky. It feels less like scenery and more like a presence. Silent, ancient, and unmoving. A reminder that time flows differently in the highlands. This is Ganzi Zong, a fortress carved into stone in memory. Built in the 14th century, it once stood as a proud guardian over the valley. Today, it whispers stories of resistance and resilience, a quiet monument to Tibet's strength in the face of history. Founded over 5 centuries ago, is the spiritual seat of the Panchang Lamas. As I walk through its hall and sacred courtyards, there's a quiet presence here, a sense that every stone has absorbed generations of prayer and purpose. It's not just a visit, it's a moment of stillness within. I've just witnessed the chanting by hundreds of monks at the Great Assembly Hall behind me. Now back at Geza Hotel in Shigatse, a place I stayed last year. Familiar walls greet me, with a different feeling. This time, the journey unfolds slower, deeper, revealing more than just landscapes. From the turquoise stillness of Ningbo Lake to the frozen breath of Kora glaciers. From the defiant silhouette of Ganzi Zong to the sacred calm of Tachipolo Monastery. Today was a journey across the soul of Tibet. 2nd May. Today the road leads higher, deeper into the Himalayas. We'll leave Shigatse behind and head towards Everest Base Camp. It's a long journey ahead across vast plateaus and winding mountain roads, with glimpses of the world's highest peaks along the way. A day to move closer to the sky. We are now passing 5,200 meters elevation.
That's it.
At 5,248 meters, this is Lhasa, a high mountain pass draped in colors. The road stretches on, but for a moment everything slows, and I'm reminded that in places like this, even the stillness feels sacred. Look at the beautiful sceneries of the mountains over the horizons. So we have crossed the gate and officially within the preserved area of Lama Fort. We are now driving through the 72 bends up to the Kora Pass. From Kora Pass, the world opens wide. 5 giants rise across the sky: Makulu, Lhasa, Everest, Choyu, and Shishanpama. Each one distant, silent, and eternal. There's no rush here, no noise, only wind and wonders. To stand this height, facing the peaks of the world, is to feel both impossibly small and deeply alive. Some views speak to the eyes, this one speaks to the soul. We are going to check in to a local hotel at the base of Mount Everest first, before taking the Everest Eco Bus to the Everest Base Camp to catch the sunset. And just a side note, I noticed there's a lot of development here compared to 2 years ago, perhaps due to tourism expansion. I actually just entered the Ningbo monastery to witness the chanting by the monks and the nuns. It has begun to snow and the temperature is dropping quite rapidly. This is the position where Everest is. It's snowing heavily and cloudy. I doubt we can see Everest today. Good morning. It's 6:30 a.m. on 3rd May. As we did not catch the sunset of Everest last night, so the team decided to wake up early today and catch the sunrise. Hopefully the weather holds and clear up. It's just before dawn and we are heading back to Everest Base Camp. One more chance to witness the sunrise. The mountain kept herself hidden yesterday, but this morning she has revealed a glimpse of her summit in the morning light. Actually, the temperature is about -15 degrees even without the wind, and it's already feeling very cold. It's -15 degrees and the hands are feeling very painful. This is a view from front of the hotel that we stay, and what you see here is Mount Everest. So that is Choyu Peak, which is 8,201 meters, one of the 5 famous peaks that's above 8,000 meters in the world. And behind me, that is Choyu Peak. Endless highways roll beneath the wheels, vast, silent, and untouched. Out here the land feels eternal, as if time moves slower and the journey itself becomes the destination. That's Everest, and this Choyu. This is where Sisopama is located. Peku tour, still and white under the highland sky. At 4,500 meters, the lake feels timeless. It's like it's been quietly waiting through seasons, through centuries. The sign says, "I'm waiting for you at Peku." and somehow it feels true. As we drive through the Tibetan highlands, I find myself quietly reaching for the cameras, not just to capture what I see, but to hold on to what I feel. The peaks, Everest, Choyu, Shishangbama, they don't just rise from the earth, they rise into something deeper within me. This journey just not across the land, into stillness, or as something I'm still learning to name. Now in Saga town, settled into the hotel, and tomorrow I head to Dachen, the gateway to Mount Kailash, a place where the pilgrimage begins and the journey turns inward. Good morning, 4th May, simple breakfast. We left Saga town at 8 AM, beginning a long journey over 500 kilometers ahead to reach Dachen. Now at Tongla Pass, 4,920 meters above sea level. We pause beneath a sky full of wind and prayer flags. Another quiet summit on the road to Kailash. Each pass a breath deeper into the sacred. And look at all this, the money stone piles that people stack as a form of prayers and blessings to seek a safe journey through the mountains. Here, among sands and the skies, lies the quiet source of Yalong Zangpo, the river that will one day become the mighty Brahmaputra. This lake, calm and unassuming, births a lifeline that flows across nations. It's humbling to stand at the beginning of something so vast, where silence gives rise to power and stillness begins the journey. That's Mount Kailash in the background on the horizon. Arrived in Dachen, the gateway to Mount Kailash. The village feels quiet, expectant, like a pause before something sacred begins. Checking into the hotel now, resting for the night. Tomorrow the Kora begins, a journey not just around a mountain, but into something deeper within. 7:15, here we go. Friends from Germany and Switzerland. Tibetan guide, strong. Endless road, nothing in front. and winding road. Actually, the first 7 kilometers, we have the option to take the tourist bus and test the route. That might be where the Jingfang Guancang is that marks the end of first 7 kilometers. Almost there. I believe that's the entrance to the Jingfang Guancang. (8:45) here at the base of Mount Kailash. This square, Jingfang Guancang, feels like a moment held in prayer. Thousands of flags flutter, with one a wish, a memory, a letting go. Started at 7:15 this morning. I have covered the first 7 kilometers out of the 20 kilometers for day 1. Arrived at the Jingfang Guancang Prayer Flags Square, which is located just behind me. Downslope now. These are the porters that some of the tour members hire to carry majority of their stuff. Focus, determination. (10:45). No sight of the lunch point yet. 11 o'clock. I really need to take a break and replenish my electrolytes. Energy is running low. (11:35). 11:30. I have arrived at the guest house, stopping over for lunch. This should mark about 14 kilometers and another 7 kilometers to the guest house to rest for the night. 1 p.m. I have rested at this tea house for the last 1.5 hours. We have the last 5 kilometers to go, so I'm going to take it slow, and we are well ahead of time. That's Mount Kailash. I believe it's west face. That's the way. You see that? Believe this is Dirapu Monastery or Xining. That's the accommodation guest house for tonight. Time now 2:10. Mount Kailash should be the northern face. This is our room for the night. Good morning, 7:30. The sun should rise shortly. Look at the beautiful scenery of the snow mountains. This was where we came from yesterday. Let me show you how the whole setup of the guest house looks like. So to the left, there's a couple of tea house and there's beds inside. This is where we stayed last night. And there's also the guest houses and tea house along this stretch. In the peak season, all these places will be fully filled. Tourists who are not physically attuned to hike at this high altitude, sometimes they do hire the horses and its guide, which costs about 900 renminbi per day. This is where Mount Kailash North Face is located, and there's actually a track where we can walk all the way up to get closer. That's where we're going to head, the road to the monastery. That's where we are heading to cross the bridge. Somewhere beneath these snows lies the pulse of the mountain. It's cold, quiet, yet deeply alive. Here in the shadow of Kailash, you don't just see the sacred. You feel it in your breath, your heartbeat, your stillness. This place doesn't need words, only presence. We are almost there to the Dirapu Monastery. Dirapu Monastery, few hundred meters more. We are now taking a shortcut walking across the river, which is frozen. The weather is clearing up. I'm going to start hiking up to the point and get nearer to Mount Kailash. Almost there. I'm going to try to walk into the glacier and take a better shot. Mount Kailash, north face. I'm going to walk further up a little and see how far I can take it. A little more to go. PM. I've been trekking upwards for the last 2 hours and finally see the full face of Kailash, northern face. I think it's time to trek downwards. 5:40. We took 40 minutes to descend. Good job. 7 May, 7 AM. Today begins the hardest stretch of the Kora, a long ascent towards Domala Pass, where altitude, silence and spirit all rise together. It's not just a hike. I believe it's a test of will, breath and quiet determination. That's where we have to ascend to. $7:45. I just passed the first ascent, making my way to the first tea house. That should be the first tea house to take a break. 8 o'clock. 5,270 meters, -7 degrees, light snow. Arrived at first tea house after ascending for the past 1 hour. At 8:45, we will continue our trek for the next 4 kilometers. Mount Kailash. That should be where the sky barrier site is. That's where we came from. Still some distance to go. Long road ahead. I don't even want to talk now. Most of the time, I'm just looking down, focusing on each steps and not think about the destination. 9:20, 5,420 meters, approximately -4 degrees, snowing lightly. We have already passed the sky barrier site. The rocky path, that's where we are heading to. That's where we are heading. 10 o'clock, 5,520 meters, minus 4 degrees. A bit more to go. Almost there. A little bit more. Let's go. That is where I came from. Respect. Almost there. Focus. The last mile. Mala Pass. The spiritual summit of the Kailash Kora. At 5,630 meters, the air is thin, but the energy is full. It's here that the old burdens are symbolically left behind, and the journey begins anew. This isn't just the highest point, it's a place of release, of surrender, and silent transformation. 11 a.m. I have rested 30 minutes here. I'm going to start descending and we'll cover 6 kilometers to reach the launch point. Below the pass lies Mercy Lake, known to many as Garikun. They say the goddess herself bathed here, and it is cold glacial waters. There's a sense of gentleness, as if compassion pulls where breath is most shadowed. A reminder that grace exists even in the hardest places. It's the path we're going to take to descend. Trekking with a dog. Just came down from the descent. That's where I'm going to go to. Alright. I'm going to put on the crampons as I'm going to walk through the glacier. O'clock, still descending. Let's see the track. I think that's the launch point. Almost there. (12:15) launch point. Yay! Now doing the last 12 kilometers for today, and we'll reach a monastery guest house. group of yaks over there. Must be hired. Look, is that yak dog again. Fated. Ah, so cute. Lovely. Yak groups. (3 p.m. Endless road ahead. (3:30 p.m. Still walking. I did not stop at the guest house. Pushing on. That's where we are heading and staying for the night. (4:05) We made it!
Yeah.
Yeah! After hours across stones and skies, we arrive at Dizuriput Monastery, a place of retreat and quiet reflection. Built near the cave where Milarepa meditated, it feels like a shelter not just from the wind, but also from all the noise we carry within. Here, we rest, but also prepare for the final steps of the Kora tomorrow. 8 May is the final day of the Kailash Kora. We will begin with a quiet visit to Dizutripu Monastery, a place of retreat and reflection, before walking the last 12 kilometers back to Dachan. The hardest parts are behind us, but the meaning, I feel, is still unfolding with each step forward. The last 12 kilometers begins now. Long road ahead. Push on. That's where I came from. I've been trekking for the last 1 hour 15 minutes, and that's where we're going to head to. That will be the last tea house that we will be stopping over before we continue our journey to arrive at Dachan town where we first started. 10:10, stopping over at this last tea house before I push on to the final 6 kilometers. 11:15, the final push for the last 6 kilometers. The final stretch back to the hotel. 50 kilometers, 3 days. Through altitude, silence and sacred space, we have completed the Kailash Kora. But this finish line isn't an end, it's a return. We walk past this point with gratitude, not for what we endure, but for what we have been allowed to witness. The mountain remains. We move on, lighter, quieter, change. A nomadic camp nested quietly in the vastness. No fences, no rush, just life moving with the land. Here, simplicity isn't a choice, it's a way of being. And in that rhythm, there's a kind of freedom most of us have forgotten. Departed Dachan at 9 AM and nearly after 500 kilometers across the vast Tibetan Plateau, we finally arrived at Saga town at 6:15 PM. The road today was long, open and quiet, and gentle descent from the sacred stillness of Kailash back into the rhythm of the world. Tucked within the green valley of Jirong, this vibrant temple stands like a beacon of devotion. Its color bold, its doorway humble, a reminder that even far from the great peaks, the spirit of Tibet lives quietly in these sacred spaces. It is a place to pause, to breathe, and to honor the journey. Jirong is a quiet border town nested in a lush valley in southwestern Tibet. Surrounded by snow-capped peaks and dense forests, it sits around 2,800 meters, a stark contrast to the barren highlands we have left behind. Historically, this was an important trade route between Tibet and Nepal, and today it serves as a peaceful gateway for travelers crossing between cultures and landscapes. There's a softness to this place, in its air, its trees, and its pace, a fitting place to end a long and sacred journey. Back to Lhasa, returning to the same hotel where this journey first began. There is a quiet comfort in walking familiar streets again. But something feels different now. Perhaps it's me. I have this late afternoon and tomorrow morning to soak in the old town one last time. To walk without hurry. To breathe in the rhythm of this sacred city. And maybe bring a piece of it home in the form of a hand-painted tanka. Not just art, but also a reminder of where I have been and what I have found. Boarding out. Staying on 15. This will be the last station before I arrive at Xining. I'm now at the train restaurant. Let me show you how it looks like. 3:15. I've arrived at Xining railway station after almost 22 hours. 5:45. My flight to Ningbo is at 9 p.m. A couple of hours to burn. Just touched down in Ningbo. It's 12:30 a.m. I've got a 7.5 hours layover before my final flight home to Singapore. Enough time to rest, reflect, and let the past 16 days settle quietly within me before stepping back into the world I left behind. 8 a.m. Final flight home. Back at Singapore Changi Airport. Full cycle. And now, home. The journey may be over, but its echo will stay with me for a long time.